Hi, everybody. This is Carol with Carol's Daily Sauce. And I did say that I was going to come back with a video, and specifically with a video on um, what's going on with me, how am I feeling as far as COVID and my being diagnosed with COVID 19 or Corona or whatever the heck else you want to call it. um on last Thursday or Friday. You guys, my memory is not worth 3 cents right now, but I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in. This is something that I think that I really need to really share. I think it is imperative. Um, and I think that here in the world today, we are in a place where a lot of us don't really grasp the significance of COVID. And I wrestled because at first I was like, well, I do like to get my monetary videos, but there are just some times when you have to put things out there and risk the fact of actually not being able to make monetary means. And this is one of those times. I, on about Tuesdays ago, was on Facebook. And just in case you don't know, my Facebook name is Jackson Carroll. And I'm telling you about my Facebook because my Facebook um, and friends on Facebook and my sister and everybody has prompted me to start a COVID-19 survivors page on Facebook. We talk about everybody who has COVID, who has passed away. We talk about the millions of people who have lost their lives, and no pun intended, dear God, definitely not. I pray and continue to pray for all of the families that have lost loved ones, family members, friends in the midst of this tragedy, because contrary to what a lot of people believe, COVID is a tragedy. So my purpose in doing this audio is to educate. My purpose in doing this audio is to let you know some things. My purpose in doing this audio is to open the eyes of men, women, boy, girl, everybody. Okay? So, really quickly, I already told you my Facebook page is Jackson Carroll. It is not open to the public, as I have, bugaboos and people that want to get on my page and do all kinds of things and be nosy and all that stuff. So it is private, so you will have to send a friend request. Also, but the COVID-19 is public. It is public. That is public. That group is public for everyone. I found out that I had a lot of family members who had suffered with COVID, but let's just get into it. Let's get into it. Let's talk about what I'm experiencing. Let's talk about the reasons why I did this. I had a classmate who was a classmate when I was in the 8th grade. So from the 7th, 8th, and 9th grade, I had a junior high school classmate by the name of Larry Lanehart, Lala. A lot of people may know him. He is from Los Angeles, California. He's actually from Vallejo, California, but he resides in Los Angeles, California. And Larry actually did a response to a COVID post that I had put, because once I tested positive for COVID, I did tell everybody, I want you guys to know COVID is not the flu. COVID is not a cold. COVID is an illness that we are constantly learning something new about every day. Contrary to what the CDC, and I say the CDC because I call it I think it's the Community for Disease Control. I don't know if it's called the same thing in your state, but it is actually the department for each individual state that keep in contact with all of the governmental agencies, all of the health agencies, all of the social working agencies, and they keep up with the statistics of COVID and or not just necessarily COVID, but illnesses in general. And To make a very long story short, you guys, they're saying, and when I say they, I mean the people who cover these things, who handle these things, are saying that COVID is something that affects people. It affects people differently. It does. It does. Every person that tests positive for COVID does not have symptoms. You could be walking around here every day, eating, smelling, drinking, feeling absolutely normal and be a carrier of this particular illness. Okay. I call it a disease because it's sick. So, why do I call it a disease? Well, let me tell you. Every single symptom that I have read about COVID, I have experienced. I this is crazy. I have been dealing with the symptoms and the illness of COVID-19 for 3 weeks. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. I've said it. I'm going into a month of being sick. My sister and I talked, and I was supposed to leave Georgia on last Wednesday to go back home to California. I had been sick for a whole week, but I thought because I had already tested negative for COVID at the end of December that I didn't have it, that it was just, I have a lot of upper respiratory problems. I have asthma. I have um, polyps in my nose. I mean, you name it, that deals with the upper respiratory part and head, sinuses and things of that nature. I deal with that, unfortunately. It is hereditary. My mother also, and my sisters and my brother, we all have sinus problems. To make a very long story short, um, because of that, I feel very obligated. I bet some of you guys, because you always have a naysayer. I bet somebody's, oh, you're not sick. You're sitting up doing a video. You know what? Get your life. Notice I said your life. And either sit here and listen to it and learn something from what it is that I'm trying to share with you, or just go on. Because guess what? I don't need a naysayer. I just want to educate. I want to let you guys know COVID is real. Um, there are a number of things that I experienced. The first signs that I had initially when I woke up on a Wednesday is I had a really runny nose and a scratchy. A lot of people say sore throat. My throat wasn't sore. It was just very irritated. Irritated in the sense of, constantly. And I went out, but I didn't have any energy. And so I told my sister, I said, go ahead and do what it is you need to do. I'll stay in the car. I'll wait. And that was on a Wednesday. And then on the Thursday, I actually woke up and I had a headache. And the headache that I had, if you've ever had a sinus headache, was a very pressure type of headache. It was heavy. It hurt. You couldn't open your eyes. I was miserable. The next Friday I woke up. I'm sorry, Thursday and Friday, I woke up and I vomited for 2 days. And not to be so graphic, but vomiting for 2 days when you don't have anything on your stomach is vomiting when you have something on your stomach is disgusting in and of itself. But without anything on your stomach, you're just like up chucking. Okay. So that's exactly what I was doing. To make a long story short, I'm not quite sure what the date is today. I believe today is January the 27th or the 28th, because as I said, I've been sick for 3 weeks. I've been dealing with the effects of COVID for 3 weeks. It started out, as I said, runny nose, sore throat, sore irritated throat, vomiting. And then from vomiting, it went to an excruciating headache with ear pain. There was nausea. There was more vomiting. I also experienced what is called, I believe, tinnitus. And tinnitus is when you have ringing of the ears. I also experienced vision problems, not vision problems that you would normally have when you already have vision problems, because as I get older, I have developed the need to have to wear reading glasses when looking at the computer or looking at really, really tiny writing. Not like that. I'm talking about vision problems in the sense of seeing, literally, you guys, seeing images. And it's really crazy because the images that you actually see are very transparent, and when you blink your eyes, they're there. And then when you look over to another direction, in another direction, they're also there. So it messes with your vision. I also experienced a lot of skin problems. I experienced nosebleeds. I experienced knee pain, leg pain, muscular problems. Now, I already suffer with fibromyalgia, but this was entirely different. The knee pain that I have was that of a sledgehammer, as if someone was just beating my kneecaps with a sledgehammer. You also experience dizziness. You experience uneasiness and not being able to lay in the bed and rest, because that's one of the things with COVID. You have got to rest. There's just no way that you're going to heal if you don't rest. Another thing too is if you have underlying illnesses and underlying things that already trouble or bother you, getting rid of COVID and healing from COVID is going to be a longer process, because your body is already, AKA, somewhat of ailing in and of itself already. So I guess my purpose in doing this was to let you guys know that I am a COVID survivor, because I'm not over it 100%. But I will tell you this, I feel absolutely 100%, almost 100% better than what I did when I woke up. Because if one person or any person was to ask me what is one word that I could explain or describe or use when I woke up that morning, when those symptoms hit me head on like a Mack truck, when I was vomiting like I was, death. I also had excruciating heavy chest pains. Sometimes when you are sleeping in the middle of night with COVID, you go to sleep and you get into a very, very deep sleep. It affected my hearing. I could not hear as well. And sometimes when you're sleeping, you can sleep so hard that when you try to wake up, or when other people try to wake you up, it's hard, because you're in like a, I don't want to say a comatose state, but yeah, pretty much of a comatose state, because I'm a very light sleeper, but my sister had to shake me to get me to wake up, and had to raise her voice when normally all you have to say is Carol, and I'm up. So I guess my purpose in saying this was to give you an update on how I'm doing. I'm doing better, not 100% yet, but also to give a message to you guys that really, 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 really needs to take heed. This is what I have to say. I am an avid mask wearer. I wear a mask everywhere. I am in quarantine and have been in quarantine since last Friday. But when I am in my home, in my sister's home, and I need tea or I need to go and get orange juice, I wear a mask. And I also carry a can of Lysol, and I also use Lysol wipes. So basically, when I get up and I go out of the room, I'm washing my hand with sanitizer in the bathroom, washing my hands with soap and water. And then once I go out, every single surface I touch is wiped with Lysol, because COVID is very, very contagious. Okay. All you have to do is cough, sneeze, and another person can be affected by it. Now, this illness is horrid. It's horrid. It's not an illness that I would wish upon anyone, but I definitely, definitely, definitely do not want young children or elderly persons to get it, because COVID also has a way of playing a mind game on you. It makes you feel at times that you're feeling better, and then you get up and you start moving around, and then you get to feeling sick again. It also plays a game on you that you don't have it, when all actuality, you do have it. Another thing is the chest pains. Back to that, I found myself and still find myself waking up in the middle of the night thinking that I've stopped breathing because of the heavy weight of pressure on my chest. My suggestion to any one of you, any one of your family members, any one of your loved ones, friends, people that you don't even care for, wear a mask, wash your hands, as I've said in several videos before, and just don't be adamant about not wearing a mask, because I'm telling you something right now. This is not your common cold. This is not your common flu. It's not. Imagine getting in the car, walking out of the car into your living room, and having to sit down before you actually make it into your bedroom, if your bedroom is different or a long ways away from the living room. It exasperates you. It takes everything out of you. And I think that in a world that we live in today, where we have so much dislike, I don't want to say the other word, but we have so much dislike and so much division and so much confusion and so much not wanting to connect and come together. If we can do one thing, connect and come together by wearing a mask, connect and come together by washing your hands, because the only way that we are going to change the world and to change the situation is to abide by what it is that our authorities, our governmental authorities have told us. Wear a mask. It's nothing wrong. I mean, I have asthma and I wear a mask, okay? Imagine having asthma, wearing a mask, and COVID at the same time. I went to go get my medication from the doctor because they do give you medication for COVID. Does it help? I don't know. I got antibiotics and a high dose of antibiotics. And I also got nausea pills because you are very nauseated. One day you'll be absolutely fine. Like today, I woke up this morning and I have no nausea. Today I woke up this morning and I don't have a headache. Yesterday I tried to do the video and I couldn't do the video because I had symptoms that were horrible. One day you'll have symptoms, the other days you won't. I went to bed last night, or I took a nap on yesterday, and I felt pretty good. When I woke up, I had the head pressure again. So whatever it is that you do and everything that you do, make sure that you are not only taking care of yourself in the area of COVID, but taking care of your family members, your friends, your neighbors, your coworkers. You guys, this particular disease, because that's what it's called, it's not an illness, has killed millions and millions of people all across the world. It is not your common cold. It is not your common flu. If you are looking at someone who is suffering from COVID and saying, please stop being a crybaby, it's just a cold or a flu, it absolutely, positively is not. And the only way that you will know it is if you get it. I pray to God that you don't get it, but the only way that you'll know that COVID is not a flu or a common cold is if you get it. COVID affects your ability to walk. COVID can affect your ability to think clearly. There are a number of different effects that come about with COVID. What we need to do as Americans, as human beings, as people, we need to wash our hands, we need to cover our mouth, and when and if you feel like you have COVID, go and take your raggedy tail down to the test administrator's place and see whether or not you have it, okay? I don't like anything stuck up my nose. The first time I took my first COVID test, we drove up. I told the lady, if you're heavy-handed and you're going to jam that down my throat, let me know ahead of time so I can grab your hand, okay? She was very gentle. It wasn't the most wonderful feeling. The second time, it was horrible. And it wasn't horrible because the person was not gentle. It was horrible because I had been suffering with the effects of COVID for probably a couple of days. And I was so sensitive and gentle, sit up there, up in my nostrils, that once she stuck the Q-tip up there, tears began to run down my eyes because of the sensitivity. It affects your ability to see. You can't see as well. You guys, there are a number of things. Like I said, I do have a Facebook. My Facebook page is called Survivors of COVID-19 Survivors. Anybody can join. Please invite your families and friends. And basically on that page, all I do is I talk about the symptoms. I talk about ways to prevent. I also talk about people who have experienced it. Now, I also want to say this. If you've been hanging with me for a long time, you know that I've had quite a few upper respiratory situations. After experiencing this bout of COVID, yes, I did say this bout of COVID, I am a COVID survivor twice. In February of 2020, I also had COVID. How do I know? Because I never went and was diagnosed. Very, very similar to what it is that I feel now, the exact same symptoms. And actually, when my husband and I were experiencing it, we knew we had it, but we never went and got tested. It literally took me about 14 days to be able to get up and move around, but to actually be rid of the entire COVID illness, it took well over 2 months. So, in closing, I just want to say this: wash your hands, cover your mouth, and if you suspect that you have any symptoms, another thing that I need to say that I don't want to forget is this. I thought that the loss of taste and the loss of smell was a huge lie. It is something when you don't realize that you have a loss of taste and smell, okay? I have been told by my husband that I should have been hired for the police department as their hound dogs, because I can smell anything and everything. I remember, and people may not want to hear this, and hey, if you don't have to, but you're going to hear it right now. When my husband and I first kissed, I knew exactly the creamer he used and the fact that he had smoked a cigarette, because that's how sharp my senses are. So I have very, very sharp senses. My sister made bacon last week. I was unable to smell the bacon. I'm not a bacon eater anyway, but I was unable to smell the bacon. She made chicken this week and I was unable to smell the chicken. Now, a day before, I had taken a bath and I had put lotion on, and I have like a peppermint lotion from Bath and Body Works. And it didn't dawn on me, but that it wasn't as strong as it was. But you do. You lose your sense of taste and you lose your sense of smell. Last but definitely not least, I have only been dealing with COVID severity, such as I am now, for 1 week. You have absolutely no appetite. You have to make yourself drink hot liquids. You have to make yourself drink plenty of fluids, water, juices. You have to make yourself move. I didn't have a cough until I started moving. Once I started moving, there was production of a cough, which is a good thing. You have to make yourself move, because when you make yourself move, you rid your lungs of phlegm. So move, get up and move. Go to the front door with your mask on, get a breath of fresh air. Get up, and make your tea. Get up and make your water. Whatever you do, at least have one bite of food every day. In 1 week's time, I've lost close to 20 pounds. And I mean, as women, we always want to lose a little weight here and there and everywhere, I didn't want to lose it like this, because this is a very, very unhealthy way to lose weight. But I want you guys to be well. I want you to take care of yourself, take care of your family members, take care of your loved ones, take care of your significant others. Do all that it is that you can do for those that you love and care for. And even those that you don't know, nor love or care for, be kind. Because guess what? You can never hurt anything or anyone sharing kindness. Thank you so much for tuning in to Carol's Daily Sauce. I hope that this video on COVID has been informative to you. If you have any questions or anything that you'd like to know, if I can help, I'm more than willing to help. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love each and every one of you, and I'll be back shortly with videos. I actually said that I was going to do this, and it's going to be a journey during. So probably in the next couple of days, I'll come back with a further update. And then when I really, really start feeling a lot better, I'll come and I'll actually do a in-person video. I also want to tell you guys also that there is a such thing as COVID-19 long haul. Some people suffer with COVID, and then the effects of all of the symptoms and things they continue to have on for months, and some people actually go into years. My sister was diagnosed with COVID in June of 2020, and my sister still has some effects of it even today. So just be well. Be well. Trust God in every aspect of your life. Be kind to one another, you guys. Be kind to one another. You know what? I can never say it enough. Be kind to one another. You can draw a lot of bees to honey, but you sure can't draw bees to you know what. All right, you guys, be blessed, be strengthened, and be encouraged. Know that I love you. I'm praying for each and every one of you, each and every one of you. And I just pray that God would continue to cover and keep you. And if you pray, pray for me. If, in fact, you think that you can pray the prayer of something else, let me explain something to you. I serve the one and only true living God. And going forth, I bind and rebuke anything that anybody even seeks to send my way. And I return it back to sender in the name of Jesus, if it is not for one's well-being. I'll talk to you soon. Be strengthened, smile, and know that Jesus is Lord. Bye-bye.